And welcome to Hollywood Smoke in the beautiful city of Santa Monica. This is Steve Kim, and once again, the gloves are off with our Mr. Cotter, the prodigal son of Santa Monica. And now I have to say it as I wear this shirt, Hall of Famer, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Now, Ray, let's clarify this. I did not fire you. I'm not that far on the food chain. Where have you been the last, 9 months?
I've been in Youngstown, Ohio, my hometown. I moved back to my hometown in November, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I moved back for business purposes. I'm in the midst of doing a full digital media studio in downtown Youngstown. To say you're doing things in downtown Youngstown, sitting in Santa Monica, doesn't play well.
Yeah.
So I had to have a presence there, I had to move back there, and I'm comfortable there. I enjoy it there. I love the people. I love my city. And we're trying to make it a destination for production, which we will. We're only an hour south of Cleveland, an hour north of Pittsburgh. We give you everything Cleveland and Pittsburgh can, but at a much better price.
And Ray loves shoveling snow in the middle of February.
God. That was the brutal part. I had to spend a full winter in 30 years, and it was the worst one in 40 years. Lucky me. And I was shoveling snow, and I'm thinking, man, I ain't done this forever. And I was enjoying it for about 2 minutes, and then I go, oh man, what was I thinking? But it's good now. The one thing about being at home in the summer, and I know everybody in the city, and wherever I go, I know everybody. So it's a wonderful feeling. When you have the family cookouts and you see the change of seasons, it's a beautiful thing. I love being back home, but I realize, and I do mean this, that coming here for the last couple of days, how much I miss California and Santa Monica.
Ray, this has been an eventful year for you. You were inducted and elected into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Be honest, your last sanctioned fight was in 1992. That's a lot of years.
Yeah. And
you didn't make it after your 5-year waiting period. Were you resigned to the fact that maybe I wasn't going to make it for years?
Steve, I never thought of it. And I mean it sincerely. I'm not trying to be no false modesty. No, even though I always say, I officially retired in 85. Coming back to fight Camacho in 89 was personal. That was a personal thing. I was still young enough. When I came back in 92 to fight Greg Hagen, that was ego. That was my ego getting involved, and it got me my butt kicked. And that's what ego does. And it resolved it for me. I shouldn't have come back. I didn't need to fight. It was, just, again, my ego got involved. Camacho was a personal thing, so that's why. But for me, I always thought I officially retired in 85 because those other fights, one in 4 years and one in another 3 years, doesn't constitute you as an active fighter. But that being said, I never thought about the Hall of Fame. I really didn't. And when they called me in November to say I was on the ballot, I said, man, I'm honored, I'm flattered. I never thought of it. I didn't mean that. And they said, I didn't think my career warranted it, only because I didn't fight long enough. I only fought 5.5 years as a pro. And I said, I didn't think that I wanted it because when I think of Hall of Fame, I think of longevity. I think guys who fought, for 10, 15 years, who were fighting for titles in the beginning to the end of their career. So I thought I hit the juggernaut just being on the ballot. They said, will you be sitting by your phone? I said, no. Because I told you, if people think I'm worthy of it, God bless them. If they don't, hey, God bless them. What do you want me to do? Either way, I don't think about it. It would be wonderful if it happens. It'd be great for my city, for my family, for my friends, of course, my parents, my deceased parents. But for me, I'm proud of what I'd accomplished. When they called me the first week of December to tell me I got on, I was really speechless. I said, wow, man, I never thought of that. And I told the writer who called me the same thing I just told you now. And he said, no, I disagree with you. He said, look, you were part of the early 80s. You, Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Aaron Pryor, Lex Arguello. You guys made boxing Saturday afternoon family friendly. You made it family fun fair. And he said, look, if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think HBO Showtime would be where it is, and certainly not pay-per-view. He said, this is what he said. He said, it wasn't the quantity of but the quality of your fights that while you're in. I said, I'll take that.
Ray, did you find out, and this is the case with so many athletes that make the Hall of Fame, and I've seen it when they get announced or they get the phone call or with their family. Was it more important to your family and friends in Youngstown than maybe it was to you individually?
Yes, absolutely. My sons were so proud. My sons started tweeting. They were calling their friends. When it got announced in the paper in Youngstown, people were coming up to me and congratulating me. You represent us so well and things like that. Wonderful, wonderful things being said. It meant, I don't want to say it doesn't mean more to me. I never thought of it again. I'm so proud. I'm very proud and what I accomplished. But I was proud of my career. I didn't worry about saying Hall of Fame. I think it did mean more for my city because of all the great fighters we had out of Youngstown, from my father and Tony Gennaro and Tommy Bell to the 5 world champions from the 80s. You know, in the 80s, I was the first, and then we have had 4 since.
Harry Arroyo,
Greg Richardson, Jeff Lampkin, and Cali Pavlik. That out of all the great fighters we've had, I'm the first fighter from Youngstown to be elected in the Hall of Fame, which is, there was a gentleman too, that was the number 3 heavyweight, you know, Jack Trammell. Jack Trammell was number 3 heavyweight under Joe Louis in the 30s, late 30s. Him and my father actually came to New York together in the late 30s. Actually, my father was first, Jack came right after him. They were good friends. Jack, he was an African-American heavyweight, number 3 in the world, but never got the shot. It wouldn't, you know, because black fighters fighting black fighters don't make for a lot of good business at that time, and he never got the shot. Here's a gentleman, I said, he should have been in the Hall of Fame somewhere along the way, you know what I mean? And it's just amazing to me that I was the first one out of all the great fighters we have to be in the Hall of Fame. Tony Gennaro, Tommy Bell, my father. That's the thing that amazed me the most and what I'm most proud of is that at least I think now the people focus on Youngstown, and I hope that people, the other champions in the years to come, and the great fighters from before will be elected.
Ray, would it be safe to say that the first person you thought of as you got the call and you were officially a Hall of Famer was your father?
Absolutely. Well, I've told him, you know, I'm very proud. It was almost, I've noticed a lot of, and I've said this when I saw him, was Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is a Hall of Fame, as he should be, a Hall of Fame announcer. His father wasn't, or isn't.
Really?
Jimmy Lennon Sr. isn't. And I said, the 2 most famous announcers of all time are Johnny Addy from the Madison Old Garden and Jimmy Lennon Sr. They're the 2 most famous. Jimmy Lennon Jr. got in, and his father, I don't think, still not in. And I told Jimmy that, and he said, Ray, it was kind of embarrassing. He said, you know, boxing is a beautiful thing. Michael Buffer's in, he belongs there. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is in there, he belongs there. But the 2 guys, Johnny Addy and Jimmy Lennon Sr. are the 2 guys you always think of. So Jimmy Lennon Sr. should be in there. So long before, his son, as I said, my father had a great career. He never got a chance to fight for the title, to win the title, because he never got a chance to fight for one. He should be in there long before me. So should Tommy Bell, who fought Ray Robinson when Ray Robinson won the welterweight title, Tony Gennaro, Red D'Amato, a lot of great fighters from Youngstown who should be in there before I should, and they're not. So hopefully it'll bring recognition, like I said, to the city and to past fighters to bring them into the forefront of the thought process.
Ray, as you look back at your career and everyone that had a hand in it, who are the people that you thank specifically for making your career what it was? From the very beginning, from the first time you stepped into the gym to your last fight.
Well, it's funny, when I did my Hall of Fame speech, I went down memory lane, and I gave one-liners. I said I wanted to thank Ed Sullivan, my first amateur trainer. Before him, I said, but there's 3 gentlemen. When I was, my first amateur fight, I was in the Junior Olympics, and I was 15 years old, and Ed Sullivan couldn't take me. So my 3 gentlemen who had fighters going to Cleveland, because the tournament was in Cleveland, Mo Harvey, Jimmy Saunders, and Joey Falcone, took me. And they were in my corner for my first fight, and my first 6 fights. And I thank them. Of course, Ed Sullivan, who when I was 15 years old said, Mr. They reminded me of it. He used to always tell me, and I said, I walked in the gym and said, Mr. Sullivan, one day I'm going to be the best fighter you ever had. And he said to me, he said, young man, you keep training and working hard, you can be. And instead of just laughing at me or shining me off, he encouraged me. And that's it. And I was a grinder. Harry Royal, we were stablemates and amateurs. Great fighter. He was such a talented fighter, much more talented than me as a natural fighter. But I was a grinder. I worked hard. I think I outworked everybody. Out of all the 5 champions from Youngstown, all four, me, Harry Royal, Jeff Lampkin, and Greg Rich all fought in amateurs together, and we're on the same amateur team, right? Out of all of us, if you say who's the best, Jeff Lampkin, to me, was the best prospect of them all. And Greg Richard had the hardest road to get to the title. He beat Hibero Perez here
at the
Forum.
1990.
And I was there that night. And for him to come in and slap Hibero Perez was a great, great champion, had like 18, 19 title defenses at that time, and Greg slapped him around. It was incredible. So this is what I'm saying. These are fighters that should, and hopefully now will be recognized to be into the Hall of Fame eventually.
And there's other people, like your manager, Mr. Dave Wolf, and then you had Bob Arum. You had a lot of help.
Oh, of course. Murphy Griffith should be as a trainer. You know, one time Joe Frazier's corner was Eddie Futch, Georgie Ben, and Murphy Griffith. That's his corner. That's a Hall of Fame corner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I was very blessed to have the people in my life, the right people to help me get to wherever I needed to be.
Mid-June, you were in Canastota. What is the induction ceremonies like? I understand your hand fell off from signing so many autographs.
Well, it's a wonderful event. I mean, they come from all over the world. Now, Canastota is a city of 4,000 people. It's about the size of Hooterville. You know what I mean? It's lovely, lovely people, wonderful people. I truly mean that. And if you go, when you're driving on 90 East Highway, it's right, literally off the highway. Mm-hmm. You see it. And it was a wonder. People are so warm and gracious and engaging, but it's a 4-day autograph session, and they come from all over the world. So you got to, but it can get a little long in the tooth. I don't mean it in the best possible way, but the event itself, the events they had, the city opened its heart to us and opened the arms, and everything in the city was ours, and it was a wonderful event. When you do that parade down Main Street, it's just like out of a Walt Whitman poem or
a Norman Rockwell
painting. Exactly. It's that type of thing, and it's pretty special. I'll never 4 days that I was flying high. People from Youngstown cavalcaded up and was there. My children with me, family, friends. It was just a beautiful, beautiful event.
Ending of part one here with Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the newest member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Final question, Ray. Looking at your record last night, it's interesting. You had so much happen. You only had 34 sanctioned fights, though. In fact, you really retired in your mid-20s.
Right.
Does this put closure on your career, or whatever was empty or missing, if there was a vacuum because you didn't get a real second half? Does that help to heal that process?
No, I chose to retire. I didn't retire because I had to. I chose to retire. I lost a love for the game. I had no love for it. Coming back again, when I retired in 1985, after the second Bramble fight, I was 24 years old. I had no love for the game. I was proud of my accomplishment, and I didn't think I'd ever fight again. Then the Camacho fight arose. I was still young enough to do it. That was personal. Again, 92, I was doing off-Broadway play in New York. They offered me Hagen. That was ego. But when I retired, I was still young enough. I don't feel I had anything to prove. My career is complete.
Mm-hmm. That's it with Ray Boom Boom Mancini Part 1. When we come back here from Hollywood Smoke, we take a look at the career of Ray Mancini.